Okay, welcome everybody. I wanted to say thank you very much, Mrs. Levy. By the way, I hope you know that every week it's not this full. They're coming for you.
Exactly. That's right.
So I have to appreciate. I say when all else fails, we blame God. So without Hashem, there's a lot to come more. Yeah, I want to talk about something that's not so comfortable to talk about. Baruch Hashem, or Hashem's great kindness. Baruch Hashem. We had a few months, it was relatively quiet in Israel in terms of the soldiers. And this week we had a very hard week.
Yeah.
And it's very bothersome to everybody. Whether it was the 7 people that were killed in Yerushalayim, or the same day 4 soldiers. And it's very bothersome. We have to have the right perspective of what we're dealing with. So on the way here, when I walked out of shul, my son sent me a WhatsApp, and he sent me an article in Mishpacha magazine this week. And they have an article, and they mentioned my Rabbi, the Karlin Stone Rabbi. And they mentioned that there was a Levaya funeral for somebody, a soldier, who was killed. And my Rabbi has a very hard time with his feet. It's hard for him to walk lately. He can walk, but it's hard for him. And he can't stand very long. And the Levaya was taking 2 hours. So he was standing there, and someone came over to him and said, he brought him a chair to sit down. He said, I can't sit over here. He said, this is the Makom Hazeh, is Makom Kadosh Ad Ma'od, the place they bury the soldiers. We have to realize that the soldiers are going to fight on our behalf. And we know that all over the world, there's anti-Semitism because of what goes on in Israel. And they represent us. And they're doing our work on our behalf. And we have to appreciate what they do. We have to pray for them every single day. And shouldn't pass one tefillah we don't mention the chayalim, that Hashem should protect them, should watch over them, and should see they shouldn't get hurt. Baruch Hashem, we have to thank Hashem for all the miracles, and there are billions of miracles, but we have to not stop praying. We have to appreciate that Hashem does it, and Hashem shows us that He has to do hashgacha pratit. And the soldiers come back and say how many miracles happened to them, but we have to keep davening, because all we could do is do mitzvot, learn Torah, and daven for their behalf. That's all we could do. We have to not forget that every single day. If it was our child that was there in Gaza, if it was our child, it was our parent, our sibling, we wouldn't stop thinking about them all day long. We would do everything possible for them. We have to understand they're there for us. I mean, if they're there for us, we have to really have them in mind every single day. Extra 30 seconds. I know people, when they go to shul, they go to daven, they're running out. The ladies, they're always busy. We find time for things that aren't that important. We should find 2, 3, 4 minutes a day to say a little Tehillim, ask Hashem to keep His eye on our soldiers, to keep His eye on Am Yisrael, keep His eye on Eretz Yisrael, that Hashem should protect us. It's very, very important not to lose sight of that. So I just wanted to mention that. As hard as it was for us this week, we have to not lose sight that they're there for us. They're dying for us. They're Mekadesh Shemayim for us. And therefore, we have to really not lose sight of that. Unfortunately, we became very apologetic. Tell the whole world, in September 11th, you did this and you did this. It doesn't make a difference. Right? The Rabbi Shalom, it's obvious the Rabbi Shalom is running the world. Nothing makes any sense. It doesn't make any sense logically in the world that people can commit such atrocities and they have millions of people marching with them. Obviously, we know Hashem wants something from us. Hashem is saying to Am Yisrael, don't make yourself among one of the nations. And Am Levadad Yishkon, we are ourselves. We shouldn't consider ourselves that we're another nation. Accept us as we are. Accept us just like you accept yourself. Accept us like you accept France, like you accept China. Not like that. Hashem says you live to a different standard, but don't pay attention to the rest of the world. You have to do what you have to do, and don't pay attention. It doesn't make any sense if you think about it. It makes absolutely no sense. Right? September 11th, today, Netanyahu was trying to make comparisons. September 11th, what's the comparison? They sent 4 planes into buildings that killed people, and they never did anything else. Here you have a bunch of animals that came into Israel and did the worst Aveirot possible and the most sadistic things. They act like animals. How are you comparing the two? There's no comparison. I tell people, if they say there are 2 million people in Gaza, there's 2.1 million terrorists. They're all terrorists. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you a question. If you came to in New York State, a crime was committed, and you put up as a reward of $50,000, if you find me the perpetrator, the phone will be off the hook all day long with people calling trying to get the $50,000. Israel offered a tremendous reward and a safe exit out of Gaza. 2 million people, not one person picked up a phone to make a phone call. They're all complicit in the crime. What are we trying to be apologetic? We all have to see that Yad Hashem. Hashem wants something from us. Every single one of us has to internalize and say, what does Hashem want from me? What does Hashem want me to do? Hashem wants me to be better. Hashem wants me to be, whatever it is, everyone knows how they can be better. Not my place to offer advice. Hashem wants me to be better. So staying a week and a half before Rosh Hashanah, and we have to know, what does Hashem want from me? We know that the tzaddikim, they always prepare for Rosh Hashanah. That was the start already. We said the halacha says you can write Ketivah v'Chatimah Tovah from the 15th day of Av. From Tu B'Av, over a month ago, you already can write Ketivah v'Chatimah Tovah. And the Bnei Yissaschar brings down from the Arizal that every time you say it, you create a malach that's going to be to your protection from that. How does one prepare for Rosh Hashanah? So I want to tell you a story, which the story has so many lessons, so many lessons. So there was a boy who went to MTJ Yeshiva in Manhattan. This story is at least 40 years old, maybe 50, I don't know, at least maybe 50 something years old. This boy went to MTJ, and MTJ, his Rabbi was Rabbi Tendler. Rabbi Tendler lived in the same apartment building as Rav Moshe Feinstein. That's how Rav Moshe Feinstein was the Gadol Hador. The whole world knew him from Israel. The biggest Gadolim sent him Sheilot to ask him. He was the Gadol Hador. And this Rabbi, Rabbi Tendler, every single day he spoke about Rav Moshe. All that this boy heard about the entire year was Rav Moshe. My 6th grade Rebbe in Yeshiva was a Talmud of Rav Moshe. Every day I heard about Rav Moshe. So this boy hears about it his whole year. Fine, the whole year. In the summer, he went to his aunt and uncle. His aunt and uncle, his uncle was a doctor. His uncle was in Ellenville. I don't know if anybody knows the Catskills. Exit 113 on the 17 is Ellenville. And the uncle was a doctor. So this boy, his name is Yitzchak, he went to stay by his aunt and uncle. And Rav Moshe Feinstein in the summer was in Camp Yeshiva, which is very close to Ellenville. So one day his aunt says to him on a Sunday, by the way, Ike, Rabbi Feinstein's coming to see the doctor on Wednesday. Would you like to meet him? You meet Rabbi Feinstein, Rabbi Moshe Feinstein? Of course I want to meet him. For 3 days, this boy prepared at Dvar Torah to tell Rabbi Moshe Feinstein. 3 days he prepares. On a Wednesday morning, the boy is standing there in his Shabbos clothing, his B'dei Shabbat. He's there for 3 hours before the appointment. And he's waiting there in the waiting room for Rabbi Moshe to come. And he's waiting there. And then suddenly, at the time of the appointment, the door opens up. Rabbi Moshe Feinstein walks in with 2 people holding him up. And his aunt runs over and says, "Oh, Rabbi Feinstein, so nice to see you. It's been a while. How you doing?" She goes over to him. She gives him a kiss on both cheeks. And she says, "Could you imagine a shiksa like me has a nephew, a yeshiva boy?" And she points to her son, nephew, my nephew, Ike. This boy didn't know where to bury himself. He didn't know. He's like, he's going to bury himself. Seriously, like he wanted to meet Rav Moshe. Now he wants to. If there was a hole in the ground, he wants to go in there. He's so embarrassed. And his aunt walks out and says to Rav Moshe, "The doctor will be here soon. I'll be right back." And she walks out, and the boy starts like trembling, going over to Rav Moshe. "My name is really not Ike. My name is Yitzchak." Rav Moshe goes like this. He says, "Shh. They're Holocaust survivors. They're holier than me." That's what Rav Moshe says. The Holocaust survivors, they're holier than me. There's so many lessons from this story. I read this story before Yom HaShoah a few years ago. And there's so many lessons. But I want to take 2 lessons out of there for us tonight. The first lesson I want to take is the Rosh Hashanah. The first lesson is Rosh Hashanah. Hashem is coming. What is the purpose of Rosh Hashanah? For some people, the purpose is simanim, shofar, whatever, and no one has any idea what's going on, and the culture goes on. It's very nice. Some people it's sigulot, some people it's buying a seat in shul, some people it's buying an aliyah. But what is real Rosh Hashanah about? It's about greeting the king. It's proclaiming Hashem Melech. Hashem is the king. Rosh Hashanah is about proclaiming Hashem is the king. And therefore, when the king is coming, you have to prepare. Just like this boy understood for 3 days to prepare, and Moshe was coming. Had he have had a week, he would have prepared for a week. We have a week and a half left. We have to prepare to see the king. That's why, but as Faradim, they say, Salichot, by us, we blow shofar. But we're doing many other things to prepare to meet the king. And when we meet the king on Rosh Hashanah, then we're part of his nation. We're part of the Am HaNivchar. We're part of the chosen people, and we're there, and Hashem comes to meet, see how we're coming to greet him. And on Rosh Hashanah, we Mamlech Borei Olam. We literally proclaim as king the whole entire world, the whole entire universe. We proclaim Borei Olam as king. We blow the shofar to herald the coronation of the king. That's one lesson in the story. Other lessons how we started tonight. And Moshe Feinstein said, "The Holocaust survivors are holier than me." I want you to know, every single soldier that's in Gaza is a holy Jew. He may not pray 3 times a day, he may not learn, he may not wear a yarmulke, but he is putting his life on the line. His mother is sending her son. His father is sending his son. And the siblings are sending their siblings to go to fight for us. They're holier than us. We have to appreciate them. We have to understand their sacrifice they made for us. And whatever we can do for them, we should do. What can we do for them? So I read this today. The chaim brings down Shmat HaLashon. Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan said, "Kol Lamed Torah," he brings Haganah to the world. learning Torah brings protection to the world. If we, every single person here, the men can learn something every day, a little bit extra, and say, Hashem, I'm doing this because I want to bring protection for the chayalim. I want to bring protection for Am Yisrael. Everyone can take that upon themselves. Learn little Torah. It's the biggest mitzvah in the world. How special is learning Torah? This week's parasha says, Hashem says, V'samachta b'kol hatov. You bring bikurim to Eretz Yisrael, you have to say a special tefillah. It's called Vidu Bikurim. You say, V'samachta b'kol hatov. V'samachta b'kol hatov. The Orach Chaim says, Ilu hayu b'nei adam yodim. If people would know, arevit mitikut neimut HaTorah. People know the sweetness, the pleasantness of the Torah. You mishtagim, they'd go crazy. Nothing will be worth anything. It says, it's the biggest mitzvah in the world. It's the most neglected mitzvah in the world. But if all the men could learn something every single day, and the ladies can learn something, whether that pertains to them, halachot pertains to ladies every day, you will have a tremendous, tremendous part in providing a protection for our soldiers. Like I told you, I have 13 first cousins in Gaza. And it's very scary, yeah. 13 first cousins that were in Gaza. Right? Not all of them are still there anymore. 13 that were there. And you have to understand, they're going fighting for us. What could I do for them? What could I possibly do? If I had a machine over here that I was able to put in dollars all day to help them out, I had something I was able to do to send them medication and send them vitamins, would I do it? Of course I would do it. The best thing we could do, we see this as a spiritual, Hashem wants something from us. The best thing we could do is mitzvot and learn Torah. That's the best thing we could do and help those that learn Torah. I just want to say one more thing, that you should be very proud of your son. Very proud. That he picked himself up and he went to Israel to learn for a year, to yeshiva. And he has all the reasons to stay and wants to hang out over here and do cash advance and do God knows what and everything else and be busy, but he decided he wants to learn Torah. You should be very proud of him. You should have a lot of nachas. The biggest nachas for a parent is when the child learns Torah. The biggest nachas for a parent is when a child grows. I won't tell you, there's a very big speaker in Eretz Yisrael. His name is Sneh Goeta. You heard of him?
Yes,
very good, right? So I heard him say something unbelievable. Sneh Goeta. I heard him say he was a soccer player, very popular soccer player, super popular. And then he became a big rabbi, and he goes and speaks all over. I heard that someone told me today that Rabbi Yashiv from Yerushalayim, when he gets his ride to yeshiva, they put on the video to see Sneh Goeta speaking. Could you imagine? Yeah, he enjoys him. He's very enjoyable. He's very talented, this person. Yeah. But he said when he went, his family was not happy. They weren't happy when to learn Torah. And after a while, his parents saw how he grew. They were so proud of him. They were so proud. So I'm wishing you, Bezat Hashem, you should have the same nachas from your son. Amen. Everyone from the children, they should go b'derech Hashem, b'derech Torah. And Hashem should wish us all, give us all, k'tiyah b'chatima tova. See Shavot b'Klal Yisrael, and hopefully Bezat Hashem till Rosh Hashanah, we should have all the chatufim home. Everyone should leave Gaza, everything should be good, Bezat Hashem. Thank you.